Does it work with your gloved finger?
It does. Look at.
Oh, do you have those kind of gloves?
I've got those kind of gloves.
It's the Krisha Frank show, and we are doing the Cold Winter's Night edition. What are we doing?
It's 34 degrees. No, it's 38 degrees right now.
I'm hoping, I'll tell you a little secret, because of Thanksgiving and all the things, we pre-recorded some episodes so that it would be hilarious
if when this is released
on November 30th.
Like
if it's
90.
Yeah, because I don't know. Or it could be snowing, and you could be looking at, what happened to them? Where are they? Where did they go on vacation?
Why is it not snowy? Yeah.
But you do look like one of the news anchors who would cover a parade.
Right, and here comes the Barney balloon.
I love parade coverage.
I'm so sad that the parade does not exist this year.
And I used to go to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade as a kid.
Yeah.
My dad would take us. We lived in New York. It was not a complicated trip. We would just drive down. And he had it all figured out because he would park at Central Park East.
All right.
The parade goes down Central Park West.
Right.
So then we would drag us through Central Park. And all of a sudden, you're on the other side of the park, and there's a bazillion people and balloons.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to see was Underdog, who was my fave. And I got to see Underdog.
Nice.
I went out in the street and took a picture of the underside of Underdog, and the cops like, "Come on, kid, get back."
I actually the other day was driving to my job, and I was thinking of what 2020 has done and what this year has done, and so many people are in this new weird limbo.
Yeah.
And I thought I might just up and move to New York in January.
But
Yeah.
what about
Oh, things still exist.
should we still do the?
Yeah. But you never know.
You'd be in New York.
I just had the thought.
No, it's okay. I just got to work this out in my head.
He's already like, I just had the thought. It's not a plausible thought.
I mean, I need to do the plugs because I got the lawyer asked me last night what's going to happen at the end, and
what's going to happen? There is no end.
Said,
this goes on forever until we die.
When I die, but all right. So you're not ending it. All right.
No, I'm not breaking up with you.
You're just moving to New York.
I didn't say I was moving to New York. I had a fleeting thought. I should just move to New York in January. I can't.
I'm
not
bad
doing
time.
that.
You should move to New York in the spring. Do they?
No.
No one writes a song about January in New York.
Right, but
it's springtime in New York.
But the thought was, if I move to New York in January and I like it then I'm going to like it all the other times because I've been in summer.
Because that's the worst of it.
Exactly.
If you can take me at my worst.
You can take me
I'm
at my
not talking
worst.
about me. I'm talking about New York.
If I can take it at its worst, I'll love it at its best. Okay, so if
Krisha Frank on YouTube, please subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh, good golly.
If you would also like to support us and you like audiobooks and all sorts of the good stuff, you can subscribe to a free trial of Audible, audibletrial.com/Krisha and Frank. It helps us out too. Not as much as subscribing to our YouTube channel, though.
But yeah, you could listen. Like, for example, if you were moving to New York or Florida or wherever you're moving, you could download an audiobook during that 30-day trial and listen to it all the way there.
Yeah, all the way there and all the way back when you have to give it up because rent was $1,200 for a postage
Not the book.
stamp.
You get to keep the audiobook.
Yes.
It's the moving back.
Do you like my hat?
Yes, we were going to talk about your clothes. I started to talk about your clothes. And
I'm going to need them when I go to New York.
And then you dropped the New York bomb on me. Because I was complimenting your gloves.
You're legitimately taking a fleeting thought that I had that I said out of my mouth hole, and now you were worst case scenarioing it.
Yeah, I found that when I was cleaning out my room.
Worst case scenario. Shh.
Yeah.
Shh.
All right. So you've got the hat, the sweater, the gloves,
I've got
the blankie.
Scarf. I've got a blankie down here.
That's a scarf?
This is a scarf.
Not part of the shirt?
No, this is a shirt.
Right.
This is a scarf.
Okay.
I stopped at Weigel's, and for a very long time.
I see your Weigel's coffee cup over there.
This was yesterday. For a very long time, I didn't have the Weigel's value card or whatever, the Boopy card.
Yeah.
And I got one, and I put it on my keychain, because I've been going to Weigel's a lot more. I put it on my keychain, and I stopped into my Weigel's to get some coffee on my way to a show.
For those of you not in the area, Weigel's is our local...
it's like a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, like Wawa if you're in the...
I love Wawa.
Mid-Atlantic. And Weigel's, the Weigel family still owns the chain, so they haven't sold out to the bigs yet.
So I stopped in, and I saw that they had a whole rack of these little hats.
Are you kidding? That's a Weigel's hat?
They had a whole little rack of hats,
Does it come with free eggnog?
No, but here's the thing.
That is the best eggnog.
It was $3.99. All right, and I was like, I really don't need to spend $3.99 on a hat. Like, I'm trying to be thrifty because
Yeah.
end days.
Right. Well, I mean, your theater's closing in a month. I mean, you've got only right a month from tomorrow.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be thrifty, but I was like, you know what? I need a new hat.
Yeah.
It looks very warm, and it was a nice color.
May I touch it?
You may. It's
it's tight. It's
it's tight. Yeah, I like my hats tight. And I got my
I meant that
coffee.
it'll hold in the heat.
Yes. I got my coffee and I put the hat on the counter and she booped my card and she goes, "You got a free coffee." And so it was my free coffee day.
It was meant to be.
And if I hadn't got the hat, I wouldn't have got a free coffee.
What do you mean? Wouldn't you have gotten the free coffee anyway? Because the coffee counts by the numbers of coffees.
Oh.
I think. But it doesn't matter. Now you don't. But you.
I didn't worry about spending the money on the hat.
Right,
I did
because
spend
the
money on
coffee, the coffee would have been $1.50 maybe.
$1.52.
So I'm pretty good with my coffee prices. How about that guess? So all right. So it made the sting of the $4 hat much less.
Yeah.
And it's cute.
Thank you.
It reminds me of one of the Seven Dwarves. Which one?
Dopey.
Probably.
It's dopey. It's definitely dopey.
The color, not so much the.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
And you've got the special texting gloves.
I've got my special texting gloves. I've had these for a couple years. I do enjoy them.
Do they work on the iPhone watch or the RDI watch? What is that called?
Yeah.
Apple Watch?
This is a Fitbit.
Oh.
It's a Fitbit Versa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen everybody with these smartwatches, and I don't like wearing watches. I didn't like wearing a Fitbit.
I hate wearing watches. This is the first watch I've worn in years. I've had this for 2 years now. I got this as a Christmas present for myself 2 years ago. Yeah. And I love it. It tracks my sleep, my heart rate, my exercise.
Yeah. Jerry still wears one, and she's always checking her sleep in the morning and whatnot.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
And I like this. I love this sweater.
This is if I had a signature look.
It's this. It's that sweater.
It would be like this type of shirt, if not this exact shirt.
Yes.
Because this is what I mean. Now I'll admit that I have probably if you go up in the closet, there's probably 5 more yellow shirts
of
like
course.
this. Some are buttoned down and some are not, and some are long sleeves.
You look good in yellow. It brings out your eyes. It makes your eyes pop.
Hello, everyone. Please check out our YouTube channel to see my eyes pop.
And they're very versatile.
Yeah. And this sweater was a gift from my brother-in-law, Joe, who often watches and listens to our show and sometimes shares the link from, he's now in Guatemala. Guatemala. But over the time that I've been married to his sister, he has lived in Germany, Florida, near Orlando. I had the name of the town and I lost it. And was a pastorship or whatever he calls it down there. Then went missionary, decided to go to Germany, and I think that's where he met his wife, and she's German. And then they were in Peru for a long time.
Oh, wow.
So while he was in Peru, that was just so cool because I have a Peruvian hat.
Ooh.
I have this Peruvian sweater.
I love that sweater.
It's got the llamas on it.
Because it's just...
Or the alpacas on it.
Alpacas, and it's just a little bit funny.
Yeah.
It's just...
People think it's reindeer. People think it's an ugly Christmas sweater.
It's not.
And that they are reindeer. I just go with it. I'm like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, but it's not. But I love it.
And for those of you who know me long enough, he's like, how he can't seriously still be wearing that sweater. But I will tell you that I love the sweater so much that I have taken it over to Prestige multiple times for repairs. Like if I snag something on the inside, or this is, I think, the 3rd zipper.
Oh, nice.
Maybe the 4th.
Nice.
I am rough on zippers.
Prestige does zippers?
It's expensive.
Yes.
She says to me, "Are you sure you want to spend some?" It was like, I'll say $40 to get this zipper replaced. And I said, "Well, the alternative is I would have to go to Peru and replace the sweater
and get a new sweater.
So $40 to get a new zipper on my all-time favorite, most comfortable, warmest, best sweater I've ever had in my life, or I have to go to Peru, find a guy, because my brother-in-law no longer lives in Peru, he's now in Guatemala.
You know, when I lived in Orlando, a lot of my friends that I worked with...
Is there a town named M? It says it starts with an M, and it's in Central Florida.
Oh, there's a lot of them. I'll think of it.
Poor Joe and Karen are screaming at them. Screaming it out.
Maitland?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, you go ahead.
I worked at a mail order pharmacy for a long time when I lived in
That
Orlando.
seems biased. Why wouldn't they serve women?
It was very, very, very
I don't think that's
specific.
nice at all.
I actually worked, I was a pharmacy tech, and it was one of the few jobs that I could get when I first moved there. And I worked.
Wait, like your great-grandfather who doesn't know who Mr. Gower is?
What?
Granny Bohannon's father worked for the pharmacist.
Right. Yes.
And probably
Wow.
was a pharmacy tech.
Yes.
Because he wasn't the pharmacist. He had to have a party line phone put into that.
He did.
Is this creeping you out at all?
No.
Okay.
No. I was just like, Mr. Gower.
I'm sure It's a Wonderful Life will be on TV this month. You could watch it.
I've seen it. I just don't retain it.
All right. So anyway, you worked as a pharmacy
So
tech. Like
I
your
worked-
great-grandfather.
My great-grandfather, and a lot of the people that I worked with were from Guatemala and Venezuela. And we would always have potlucks because we worked in a room, and like it was a mail order pharmacy, so all day long we did the same stuff.
All right.
I worked in a sterile hood, and I did insulin drops, and so
Okay.
I spent 8 hours a day drawing up
Sucking insulin
and
into
rubber banding
yeah,
it
yeah.
to send to people. But we would have these big potlucks once a week, and the empanadas and the food from Guatemala and from Venezuela, and then we would all go Latin dancing, and we would drink mojitos, and it was real mojitos at the real Latin place, and it was, oh gosh, take me back.
Now, see, I may be biased now because I like my Peruvian sweater and my Peruvian hat and all my other Peruvian things, but I love going to get Peruvian chicken. They don't have it in Tennessee, but when I go up to Northern Virginia, it drives my family crazy because they want to go to whatever carry-out restaurant they want to go to.
Right.
Panera Bread. I'm like, oh, is there a Peruvian chicken place near the Panera Bread? They're like, Dad, it's breakfast.
Still.
Like, I don't care. I want the fried, I don't really need the fried yucca.
Oh,
Yucca?
so good.
Yeah, but it's
I call it yuca, but
well, Jerry and Frank Jr. love that. I love the plantains, the fried plantains, but mostly it's just the chicken.
yeah.
El pollo brazo.
Pollo brazo. It's like, I don't know, just Latin culture, Latin men, Latin drinks.
All right. Can we pause and cut some wood? Because Steve's tree service.
Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Well, I just want to get that plug in. Steve's Tree Service
I'll just salsa dance in my own little head.
is a proud sponsor of the Krisha and Frank show.
Yeah.
And they do a fine job. In fact, I just can't stop staring out the window and looking where the trees used to be.
You need a hobby.
Well,
Hey, Jared, come here.
let me rephrase that.
You remember the trees used to be there? You remember when there were
I
trees?
had a lot of trees that are now not there.
There aren't trees there anymore.
I can see neighbors' houses and
Speaking of
things.
which, is a neighbor smoking a cigarette?
I don't think so.
My spidey senses are tingling.
I don't smell it.
Anyway, Steve's
So,
Tree Service.
They did a fine job for me, and they'll also do a fine job for you. You know, they serve all the surrounding counties of Knoxville. So whether you're, all the way in Sevier County or Jefferson County or this way or that way, Loudoun County or Blount County or,
Yeah.
you know the drill.
And they're licensed, bonded, insured. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Yep, they've got the tree climbers. They safely will get up there and take down these hugely dangerous branches, tie them off, lower them gently to the ground, and then cart them off to the dump.
Which is really, really awesome.
Yeah, and they did a fine job with the cleanup. And also, I did not just trees. I had a mob,
Mama.
what would you call it? A mess, just all of
pile.
this ugly brush that I had, both inside and outside the
Detritus?
fence. Detritus?
Detritus?
It was
Detritus?
disgusting. It was nasty. They got rid of that
Yeah,
for me, too.
detritus.
And saved me a lot of trouble. It was worth what I paid. And they gave me, it was a good,
Yeah.
fair price. So, Steve Tree Service.
You can find them on
number.
Facebook, Steve's Tree Service. They're the ones in Knoxville.
I'll put the thing, there. And the phone number is down there. Except I need to
Yeah.
say it. It's, oh, crud.
Oh,
It's
no. We
62
wasn't prepared.
It's 62. It's Steve's Tree Service. Help me out. It's 865.
Yes, it's definitely 865.
And then
That
there's
is what
a-
I know.
and
And
then
then it
there's a
has
6.
other numbers
No,
after
not till
it.
later. It's 865. So, of course, you've seen it the whole
It's been
time if
there
you're
the whole
watching
time.
us on YouTube. 257-6214 for the benefit of all you listening on the audio podcasting apps. 865-257-6214. Ask for Renee because she's the boss.
Yeah, check him out. Actually, my friend Tim Coleman just
Tim.
took down his own tree the other day.
Oh, it's hard work. It's dangerous.
And it's a smaller tree, so he knew that he
Could do it.
He could do it. But there was a big windstorm a couple weeks ago in Gatlinburg when the cold front came through. And he was like, yeah, it's not going to make it another one because it had already broken and then broken. So it was, he said about 12 feet, but he knocked it down. But I was like, you should have called Steve's Tree Service.
Well, next time. When we were doing all your Latin culture, Latin dancing, Latin food, I can't believe that I didn't get up and reach. I had to clean out I cleaned up my room, my bedroom.
That's
and I
good.
found a lot of things. And one of the things I found was the actual business card of Chef Pepin.
Oh, look at how cute he is. Chef Pepin. Oh, he's at AOL. Wow, okay.
Well, he's an elderly man. I thought he was in his 60s, but I think he might actually be in his 70s. Or
he might definitely be now.
No, I looked up when I was the episode where we talked about him.
I'm pouring my coffee off screen, so I'm not shining a logo.
Well, with the episode where we talked about Chef Pepin, I went, I Googled him or something to make sure I was spelling it right, because I couldn't in my head remember if it was Pepin or En or whatever. And on Wikipedia, it pointed out that he was born in like 1948 or something like that, so he's older than I thought.
Nice.
But he's a wonderful man. And,
I'm hungry now.
I don't know, if we ever go to Miami, we can go call up Chef Pepin.
I mean, maybe in January I'll move to Miami. On his little head.
My dad used to love going to Miami on business.
I've never been.
Oh, I went. That was my first trip in an airplane that I remember.
Yeah?
I was 5.
Mine was to Milwaukee.
I went to Miami. And all I wanted to do as a 5-year-old was to see Jackie Gleason.
Oh, Jackie Gleason.
Because we would watch the show on Saturday nights, and they would have this zoom shot across Biscayne Bay, and my dad took us out on Biscayne Bay so we could watch the Bacardi Cup sailboat race.
That's cool.
And I went again. So I don't remember this from when I was 5, but we went again when I was 7, and I think went again one more time after that even. But it was. It was a big deal. He would go all the time. That was his job, was to do the public relations for this sailboat race and for the rum.
Maybe that's what I should do. Get a job as PR for some booze.
Yes.
I could easily talk about booze.
Well, a lot of people we know have gone into the beer sales or beer promotion
I did that for
industry. A minute. But I mean, Hannah, who used to work at the radio station.
She's so great.
A bunch of the guys who used to work over at... I forget which station it was, the X or the Z or whatever. It's not there anymore. A lot of those guys ended up in beer promotion. Even Peter Johnson, who's an opera singer, he's working the beer circuit.
Yep, I know Peter.
Brand. You do?
I do.
I found out there's someone else. We know a lot of the same people that we didn't know we knew.
Right.
You texted me. You said I was watching a video and Guy Windsor was on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I like Guy Windsor. And I didn't. Then it occurred to me later, of course you know Guy Windsor. He's a director, just theater director, but he also is a performer up in the Pigeon Forge world.
Majestic Theater.
And he's hilarious.
Yes,
I've seen
hilarious.
But here's the thing: is he's finally landed there. I've interviewed him 2 or 3 times, and it was each time for a failed project.
Well, the thing
no
is,
offense to Guy, because he went to work at this bow and arrow place, this crossbow place.
Yeah.
Where that was the whole show, where they were going to shoot arrows at each other.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it was going to be a show, but he was the comic relief.
Yeah.
The rodeo clown in case somebody gets hurt.
Yep.
And so I really like Guy Windsor.
That's
he amuses me a lot.
I don't like you bringing that up. I don't think I don't know if it's a known thing that if you go to Dolly Parton's Stampede, if you go to the Pirate Show, if you go to the Lumberjack Show, if you go to any show that's like that, the people that are goofing off, the people that are like the little interstitial people.
Comedy Barn, maybe.
Comedy Barn, not so much.
Well, that was part of that same empire.
Yeah.
No, it got bought out into the Dolly empire. Okay.
Yes, but it's WCI that runs it. It's
now. It used to be Fee Hedrick. Okay.
Right, and WCI is part of the Dollywood, but it's
a separate management company that runs these restaurants in Myrtle Beach and Branson and Pigeon Forge and so on.
But you said the comic relief, the rodeo clown, should something go wrong. That is typically the real job of that person.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
One, you're there to break up the while they're setting up, while they're taking down.
You're
But
the warm-up
also,
comic to a degree, but
Yeah.
a rodeo clown's actual job.
when you train into that job, specifically the Lumberjack show before it was bought out or before it changed, the Lumberjack show, the goofy people were there because people would get injured regularly. It happens. And that whole, you're trained, here's worst case scenario, this is what you do. And there's actually a track and a script that you go to if there's an accident. Circus is the same way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if someone falls off the high wire or does anything, the lion bites the guy's hand, even if it's just a flesh wound, then you have to cover, you have to distract, you have to get the audience to be calm, because, you know, that's the job of, and actually it's on a different scale when we're emceeing a simple event. The audience wants to know that you're not going to crash the boat into the rocks.
Yep.
The audience wants to know that we're smooth sailing, that somebody's got the helm, and that, okay, we got into a little rough water, but we're going to be fine.
Have you ever been to an event that felt chaotic?
Not when I've emceed.
Right. No, but I'm saying, like, as a spectator, you go to an event and it's
it's
you're,
frustrating.
as an audience member, you feel the uncomfortable chaos. Oh, it's the worst.
That's
When
why you
I
should
went-
hire Krisha and Frank to MC your next event.
Oddly,
Which
I went,
there are no events.
No, there are none.
All right.
I went to see a concert in Central Park, and it was a Good Morning America morning concert series. It was Florence and the Machine. It was one of the best mornings I've ever had in my entire life. And the MC warm-up guy was terrible.
All right.
Terrible. And it ruined the whole thing. But then finally Florence came out and I completely forgot about whatever that guy's name was. Yeah.
I used to go to a lot of, well, we can talk about this in another show. I used to go to a lot of sitcom tapings in LA. And I like the warm-up comics. I always had a lot of respect for them. I think they did great.
One of my really dear friends has worked for Steve Harvey as his warm-up guy for the last 12 years. Unbelievable.
I think that's Nancy.
Come in, Nancy.
No, she's over there. I saw her out there with a big stick, or maybe what is she doing? Beating
I
the
don't
rose?
know. Okay, we gotta go. We
All
gotta
right.
make sure Nancy's okay. She might be beating off the raccoons.
Please don't let that be the title for this episode.
Beating off the raccoons.
No, I can't. It can't be. It can't. It can't. It's not acceptable. There's children who watch this show. Stop it. Please subscribe. Hit the button. If you're on the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Listen to us on the other things. Follow us on social media. Thank you for your help.